Welcome back, guys. The next couple of lessons should be short just because there's not really a whole lot in it, and a lot of it is review from the beginner course. Today's lesson in particular should be short. The next lesson probably also going to be short, which is fine. Short is good. We like short. So let's get started. First up, we have your kanji. Today, we've got the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't use these words very often in English, much less in Japanese. You do need to know them. They're just not super commonly used, or at least not in my... if I'm trying to give directions to somebody, I tell them like, hey, go left past that bush that looks like a duck. I don't tell them to go east or northeast, or I don't mess with directions like that. That's just me. I don't find them all that useful. You do need to know them, particularly when you're like driving. You need to know them when you're driving, right? You need to be able to follow signs. If you need to go north, you don't want to accidentally go south. The bottom one you might know if you've ever played the game Ni no Kuni. The title literally means second country, right? Ni as in the number 2, and then Kuni being country, so Ni no Kuni, second country. If you didn't know, now you do. The easiest way to remember them is so that you don't get them confused. The first one, the radicals are 2 spoons. So if you're familiar with constellations, the Little Dipper and the Big Dipper are in the northern hemisphere. They're in the north. So if you can remember 2 spoons, that's north. For east, you've got the sun on a tree. So you can think like the cherry blossoms in Japan, and the sun rises in the east. You got east. For south and west, you might have to get a little bit more creative with your story. The way that I remember south is actually sheep. Now, it's a little bit different. The kanji for sheep has 3 lines, whereas the kanji for happiness has only 2. That little symbol that's inside of the box, right? It only has 2 lines rather than 3. But in this word specifically, I pretend it's a sheep. It's the kanji for happiness with a hood added to it. That's what is happening here. But what it kind of looks like at first glance is a sheep in a cage. Again, it's different. Sheep has 3 lines, not 2. But that's what I think of when I see it. I think of a sheep in a box, which, at least in America, the South, that's where all of our farms are. So it's easy for me to remember that, oh, the sheep, they're in the South. That's just how I remember it. Whatever works for you, though, is fine. So I'll go ahead and pause so that you can take a picture. This next page is a lot easier. These are pictograms, so they kind of sort of look like what they're supposed to look like. We're not going to fuss about them too much right now. So go ahead, take a picture, add them to your study list. And then check that out. Guys, you are halfway done with all of the kanji that you need for the N5. You have learned 40 kanji. So, first, pat yourself on the back. You've done a great job. This is a great accomplishment. But, study. Study all of the kanji that you have learned so far. Look at their readings. And remember, don't study the readings in isolation. Look up words. If you've got a kanji dictionary, look up words that contain those readings. I've got sample words in each of these cards. You can use those too. Don't only use those. Look up other words to help you really master it. Practice writing them. Whatever helps you, study them on your own time. And then next time, we'll have a kanji quiz. So the N5 lesson 5 is going to be a quiz on all of the kanji that you've learned so far. After that, we will start learning the second half of the kanji that you need. Moving on to your vocabulary words, we are also not going to spend a whole lot of time on these because most of them you've already seen. The words inu and neko were both used in several examples at the very beginning of course 1. The other words on this page were in the homework. So I'm just going to leave them here. You can check and see if they're in your vocabulary lists already. You know, if you've got an Anki deck or whatever, add it to that list. But other than that, we're not going to spend a lot of time with them today. They're also pretty easy, so they don't really take a long time to master. And if you're using any kind of supplemental app like Duolingo or Lingodeer, then you've probably already seen these words there also. Same exact thing with this page. We actually had an entire lesson about colors in lesson 7. Lesson 7 of course 1. So if you want to go back and review that lesson, you can. Notice that some of the colors are missing. For the N5, you only need to know these 8 words. The very last word is color. I put a rainbow here because the rainbow's got all of the colors. The word for rainbow, though, is different. Iro just means color. I don't know why, but the colors pink, purple, and gray are all in 2 words. And orange, which is a very easy katakana word, is an in 1 word. You don't need to know the word orange until you take the N1. I don't know why. So, again, check your vocabulary list. Make sure that these words are on there. If you want a more in-depth lesson on them, go back and review lesson 7 from course 1. But other than that, we are not going to mess with them today. Today's lesson is pretty much just me giving you homework. Sorry. If you feel like you need more, if you want more, if this was not enough, let me know and I'll do a follow-up video. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.